I don't traditionally do comparison videos. I think, honestly, the only time I've actually done one was in the case of ArcAge, where I said that Arc Rage is a much better server to play on. With Trion's dissolution in their games purchased by GameGo, that sentiment is ever more prevalent now. In the case of closers, however, I guess it's a little more tricky. That may be in part due to the fact that NMAS isn't actually like a really scummy pay-to-win bullshit company like Trion or COG Games are. So with that in mind, let's just take a moment to talk about that and the two new classes that just released in Code Closers, Bai and Soma. Back in August, I did a video titled My First Day in Code Closers, and it went more or less as every other one of my first day videos go. I played the game for about 4 to 5 hours, I compiled a list of my experiences, and I talked about what I went through over the course of the game. The same was done this time as well, albeit I played both Bai and Soma as opposed to Luna, who at the time was the latest addition to the game. However, before I get into my experiences this time, allow me to go over some of the issues I saw brought up with my previous Code Closers video. Now, I have played Code Closers since before NMAS's official server came out, and I have been with the game for longer than I guess most people have. Therefore, I feel like that gives me the ability, I guess, to comment on some of these without bias. I've seen issues surrounding the team behind the game, the leveling experience, translations, and the fact that the private server didn't really get off to the greatest of starts. I've actually had the pleasure of speaking to some of the team behind Code Closers all the way back when I did my very first video on it over a year and a half ago. In the time that I played through the game, I've seen them provide large content updates, release new classes ahead of NMAS's version, hold community events, and handle issues that arise on the forums as best as they can. Yes, no team is infallible, but from what I've seen, they're doing, I guess, the best that they can. Which is more than you can say about companies like GameForge, Trion. Oh wait, Trion was bought out by GameGo. Or Area Game. Oh wait, no, that same thing happened to Area. Now a lot has changed over the last few months. Full translation overhauls, a multitude of new classes, constant new content as they're very close behind South Korea in terms of content, and well, just log into the game for yourself and you'll see it's well worth it, trust me. As for the two new classes, Bai is a super hot 20-year-old katana wielding badass that wields a unique katana called the Blade of Ice. I don't know why it's called that, it doesn't really look all that chilly, but I mean, I'm gonna be real with you guys here.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
She has some of the best looking outfits that I've come across in game as well. Like, holy shit, look at that. She's absolutely adorable. But adorable isn't all she can be. Allow me to transition to my personal favorite. There you guys go. There she is in all her glory. I mean, I guess the eye patch, I don't know, eye patches don't really do it for me. There we go. Much better. Much, I don't know, I feel like, I guess I could just run around the game looking like this though. Yeah. I had WIGGY record some of Soma's gameplay for me because, well, I felt like I should include both characters. They're both new and I haven't tried either of them. WIGGY ultimately ended up on, that. Yes, I know, she really does have a weird taste in costumes, but hey, at least she listened to me and inevitably changed. I mean, I'm all for bunny girls, but yeah, no, definitely a hard no for me. Soma utilizes Tonfa to attack and has just so much destructive force that not only is it an absolute pleasure to watch, but it is also thrilling to play. Oh yeah, did I mention she was only 15? Yeah. Sorry boys. Admittedly, since she uses Tonfa to engage enemies in combat, Soma actually relies heavily on lunges, kicks, and other forms of close-range melee. After seeing her in action, her playstyle reminds me, I guess, somewhat of Harpy. I mean, even how she moves and, well, actually her AoE potential is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even kidding, like outside of Luna, she probably has some of the most impressive AoE capabilities. Bai, on the other hand, I mean, she has some pretty serious AoEs as well, but they're just not nearly as effective as Soma's are. She feels a little, I guess, weaker and seems to rely much more on single target DPS as opposed to the AoE focused damage Soma seems to output. But that doesn't make her inferior. I mean, it's always a pleasure witnessing and experiencing new classes, new playstyles, and seeing what each character brings to the table. I, however, am personally a huge fan of AoE classes. To me, AoEing helps mow down groups of adds faster, which in turn helps move dungeons and raids along at a faster pace. But AoE-centric classes are no good for bosses as they excel at large group encounters. So, you know, you need both classes, both combat types to really have an all-rounded group. From what I can tell, different characters begin in and progress through different areas. As an example, both Soma and Luna seem to begin in the same area and both seem to progress through the same areas as they continue to level and make progress through the story. Whereas Bai and perhaps even Wolfgang, I'm not really sure, I can't really comment on him as I've never played him, progress through destroyed cities at sunset. I mean, this made partying with and continuing the story more difficult as both Wiggy and I had different objectives, but I'm under the impression that after a certain point the characters meet up. I saw other players playing other characters, so I mean, yeah. Now, just sidetracking just for a moment, I believe this is perhaps the very first time I've seen us attack actual humans. Like, we fought dimensional creatures, we fought giant robots, we fought a lot of things, but never like actual humans like this. While I was dealing with those humans, Wiggy on their hand was dealing with strange manta ray fish things, and yes, her attacks are so fucking enviable. Damn it, I feel like I got the raw end of the deal here when I lost that rock, paper, scissors match and ended up with Bai. Yes, Bai is hot and Bai isn't actually bad at all, but Soma is just so much more my style, man. She beats people with fucking STIX. STIX! That is my fucking name and I can't play her. Jeez. Now, how do I feel about code closers as opposed to NMAS's closers game? Honestly, NMAS aren't a bad company. I'm gonna come right out here and say that I don't dislike them. I don't really hate on them ever, and I feel like they do a pretty decent job with the games they publish, like Terra and Critica. What I prefer about code closers, though, is the custom content, the events, the altered server rates, faster progression, and more up-to-date content. I love the fact that they've made improvements to the game that players want. From what I've been told and what I've read, they even have more custom content slated and are looking to get even further ahead than they already are. With so many positives, even though they may have had a little bit of a rocky start, why aren't you playing here with us? Official Closers has maybe, I guess, like 1,000 concurrent active players and is dropping month after month. Anyway, guys, that is essentially my thoughts on the entire Closers game. I have preferred code closers since before Closers came out, and I continue to do so. I mean, they may have had a setback or two at the beginning, but they've just made so many improvements to their version of the game that they're just... Download the game, try it out, see what you think for yourself. Thank you for watching, though, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing to my channel over here, checking out another video, or following me on Twitter at STIX to just chat or hang out.